No, thank you. It's like childbirth. Best to be completely oblivious until it's happening.
Welcome to your weekly ticket at Home Edition. Scarface is getting yet another remake. Yup, that's right, the Call Me By Your Name director Luca Guadagnino is set to take on a new version of the classic gangster film. There's no information on plot just yet, but the film will focus on an immigrant story and will be set in Los Angeles. Guadagnino will be working off a screenplay recently rewritten by the Coen brothers. He recently worked on another remake, Suspiria, and he's also in development of remaking The Lord of the Flies. George Miller's upcoming film 3,000 Years of Longing has been picked up by MGM, who has also nabbed the distribution rights to the film. Idris Elba and Tilda Swinton are starring in the film about an epic love story. And in other George Miller news, the director is still trying out new actresses for the Furiosa prequel, with Jodie Comer being the newest addition to the Mad Max spin-off list. Miller also confirmed that Charlize Theron will not return for this version. No word on when this film will be completed, but it will be after 3,000 Years of Longing has been completed. Ryan Gosling is headed to space again for a new film for directors Chris Miller and Phil Lord. Lord and Miller are now set to direct and produce an adaptation of a new sci-fi novel from the Martian author Andy Weir. The film centers on an astronaut on a spaceship that is tasked with saving the planet. Amy Pascal has also signed on to produce, joining Gosling and Ken Kao as well as Weir. And this won't be the first time Lord Miller and Pascal joined forces, as the trio most recently won an Oscar together as producers of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, one of the best animated films of all time. Sorry, that wasn't in the script, I added that. Also, this isn't a script, this is an art book thing. And if you're looking for some personal recommendations, don't worry, we got you covered. Today's guest is Fandango's own social media guru, Brian Formo. Hey Brian, what's your recommendation today?
Well, I've been watching a ridiculous amount of movies during this work from home period. And while Fandango and my friends know me as kind of like the film fest indie guy, I've surprised everyone because the movie I cannot stop talking about over the last 2 months is Hard Target, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I have not had more out of my mind fun watching a movie in the last couple months because it's just absurd. Like before the opening credits are over, I've howled about 5 different times because everything that tips over in this movie explodes. There are a lot of unique weapons, and Lance Henriksen is the bad guy, which is great. The plot is very simple. It concerns a bunch of wealthy individuals from around the globe who congregate in swampy Louisiana occasionally to hunt human beings for sport, and Van Damme is going to stop them. This is John Woo's English language debut, so the action is beautiful and absurd. He turns Van Damme's patented roundhouse kicks into an explosive ballet. There are doves that emerge, as he's known to do in climactic battle scenes. Wilford Brimley also appears late in the movie as his uncle, which is definitely a choice. And Van Damme punches a snake, and though that sounds crazy, you won't believe what happens next. The film is also set in New Orleans, which is a bonus right now because it's such a great, beautiful city that's so full of life, and it's one of my favorite cities, and it's great to have a movie that takes you right back there. And at the end of the day, this is just like a brain off, have fun movie to watch with a group or by yourself. And it still has an auteur's eye, so I still get to keep my card in that regard. All right, Khail, what do you have to recommend?
I thought you'd never ask. My recommendation is Twilight. Hear me out, okay? I haven't watched Twilight since it came out. And I watched it again because, of course, Robert Pattinson is going to be Batman. So I wanted to revisit his original role. And let me tell you, it's entertaining no matter what. If you are in the mood for a, young adult teen romance or whatever, oh, it's real sweet. It's real traditional. And, if you're not, it's still funny in its own way. A moment that really clenched it for me was when Edward points out the fact that vampires don't have to wear seatbelts. And I was just like, all right, we're having fun. Listen, if you just want to ease some tension of everything that's going on in your life and just have either a good laugh, just like have a good time, or just like really sink deep into the like vampire moodiness, Twilight is there for you. Also, you get to see Batman as a vampire, which is also Bat. I don't really know how they connect somehow, right? It's a prequel somehow, right?
Yeah, this is kind of a good double feature. Just shut up. Yeah, this would be a lot of fun. There's your double feature.
We didn't plan that. All right, Brian, well, thank you so much. Make sure to follow, not you, Brian, but you make sure to follow Fandango on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
You can follow me as well, but thank you for having me.
Available to watch at home today, Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
L'homme intéressé par ma fille est milanais. Nous partons là-bas si le portrait lui plaît. Il a épuisé déjà un peintre avant vous.
Que s'est-il passé? Je ne sais pas.
Portrait of a Lady on Fire is set in France in the 18th century and follows the story of Marianne, who is commissioned to paint the wedding portrait of Eloise, a young woman who has just left the convent. Because she is a reluctant bride-to-be, Marianne arrives under the guise of companionship, observing Eloise by day and secretly painting her at night. As the two women orbit one another, intimacy and attraction grow as they share Eloise's first moments of freedom. The film is certified fresh with a 98% on the tomato meter and was written and directed by Celine Sciamma, who earned Best Screenplay at the Cannes Film Festival. And available to watch at home on Friday, Military Wives.
Let's come up with some exciting activities to do while our service people are away.
What about singing?
Singing?
Let's just get the strippers in.
Military Wives centers around a group of women from different backgrounds whose partners are away serving in Afghanistan. Faced with their loved one's absence, they come together to form the very first Military Wives Choir, helping each other through some of life's most difficult moments and quickly finding themselves on an international stage. Peter Cantaneo directs Kristen Scott Thomas and Sharon Horgan in this feel-good film inspired by true events. All right, that's it for today. Leave us a comment to let us know what you'll be watching or if there's anything you're excited about, like watching Twilight again. All right, I'm Khail Anonymous, and I'll see you next week.